week. And what a week it's been. We keep saying that. I know it's boring, but it's true. And we're going to start in Russia. How about that? A bit of light relief from the UK. And actually, it does involve the UK because Russia, it's come out because three spies have been found in
Yes,
Essex and many more before them that we don't know about.
of course.
But Russia's been having a real go, Marilyn, for donkey's years. Basically, it has been responsible for all this wokery that, among many others, that's going on because they can see the moral decadence in our country.
Yes.
So they cleverly wind you up, make you feel guilty for slavery ships 300 years ago, etc. We know what happens. And they've been using Facebook last year. They spent $100,000 on Facebook alone, and nothing's done about it. Well, hopefully, we've seen the light. It was the only light we've ever seen under this government and previous governments.
I just, yeah, I haven't read the story about it, but I thought, well, there would be more than, I just saw it briefly, there'd be more than three spies over here for sure. I mean, absolutely there will be. But similarly, won't we have the same in Russia? Won't we have spies over there? I mean, that's the nature of spies, isn't it? They infiltrate all sorts of places. I mean, um,
But we
uh,
play it with a straight bat, don't we? Not for 1 minute.
it's the nature of the game, isn't it? Surely it's the nature of the beast. Everybody, like spies are all over the place, aren't they? It's but there's far more than three. I can't.
Oh, yeah. And now Iran and Qatar are getting in on the act.
Mm,
And Iran are responsible for so much ill in this world. You
mm.
would not believe, well, you would believe, but many people would not believe that the horrendous things they're into promoting the Gaza situation
Yeah.
would never have happened but for Iran.
No, I mean it's always been, I think, a very what can I say, a difficult situation with Iran. I remember when we lived in Portugal, there was a couple of estate agents that were going over there, had been asked to go over there, and I thought, yeah, you've been asked to go over there so that you can get dirty money into Portugal to buy houses and villas that line up along the coast of, the Silver Coast, where we lived. We were an hour north of Lisbon, and that Silver Coast, where it is, the Silver Coast. But I mean, there's so many villas along there were owned by Iranians and Russians, and I thought, yeah, that's why you've been asked to go over to Iran to see if you can, get dirty money in. But I mean, they're in Dubai, the Russians are,
Well, it sounds just like where we are at the moment in the
mm,
Costa del Sol. One of our neighbours, no, many of our neighbours, you wouldn't believe, even Putin's got a villa around the corner. And of course, that's been sequestered,
mm,
kidnapped, I suppose,
mhm.
in English. And basically, the state have got hold of that because of what he's up to. But the people with the money down here is incredible. But on the quiet, it suits the Spanish because they're bringing in billions.
Yeah, of course. At the end of the day, there's always every cloud has got a silver lining for somebody, isn't it?
Yeah, somebody's making a book, aren't they? Listen, that's your light relief for today. There's not much else. We're into raising blood pressure again. And let's talk about briefly the visit of Trump. I think it was a masterclass.
Oh, 100%. I mean, I have to say, I don't know if you saw it, but I saw the first day when it was at the pomp and ceremony at Windsor Castle. I don't know why they don't use it more. I mean, it's just, I mean, it was completely safe for him to trot around in the carriages and the horses. What a display. I mean, I've never seen anything like it. The people with the older I don't know if you saw it with the what they call those tricorn hats and the beige trousers and their pipes, and I've never seen that before. But so well managed. I mean, the mix of music and involving the bagpipes and some of the Scottish Guards with their bearskins as well. No one does it like us. no one. And I mean, the precision and you could see the joy emanating. And I thought Melania, I thought she was really quite charming, and she obviously got on very well with the Queen and Princess Catherine. They seem to be.
It wasn't the dress sense, though, was it?
I
Dear
thought
Mail, I put this out to you.
I really, there was a very funny thing going around on X actually, because what was the hat all about? You couldn't see her face.
Ah, that was what it was all about, obviously.
There was, I thought, is she doing a Victoria Beckham, like with the big glasses, but she's got it with a hat instead? But there was one, she's standing there. There's Trump and the King, and then she is standing there on the left of the King, and she's looking down like that. And there's this caption that goes, "Could somebody switch the light standard on, please?" And it looked like a lampshade. It really did look so funny, really funny. Yeah, I thought she wore a very interesting dress for the gala dinner, I have to say.
You're not going to win in these situations, are you?
No, but I thought she, I did wonder to myself, I wonder how much money she got paid to hold his hand.
Yes.
But they did look, I thought, very relaxed together, and I thought it was fantastic. I really did think we really showcased Britain. It's about the only time I actually, in recent months, have actually felt proud to be British, because you think, oh my golly, when we do it so well.
We do, but Mr. Trump and Mr. Starmer, especially the latter, you've had your day, or 2 days in this case. But Starmer, forget it, because you showed yourself up, and the clever people that write columns in newspapers have sussed it out, basically. And I agree with them 100%. What a hypocrite is Starmer. And it was on
Absolutely.
display. I tell you what, no more so than when he was hit with a question about free speech in Britain.
And I didn't hear it. What did he say to that? I didn't hear it.
Well, I mean, the Donald said, that's for you, isn't it? So answer it, as it were. And he did. And of course, like all politicians, he sidestepped it and started suddenly talking about the fact, yes, there was free speech in Britain, but there are certain free speeches we don't like the paedophile situation. Oh, we have one, have we, Sir Keir? Yes. And about women not being able to go out, fear of rape, etc. And when it comes online, we will police that. Now, we're not talking about gross
No, no.
things like that. We're talking about free speech, Mr. Starmer.
Well, if you start selecting what some free speech is and other, then it's not free speech, then is it? If you're going to select, well, there is some free speech that isn't, like social media, whatever. Well, if you do have hate stuff on it, but it's absolutely ridiculous. I mean, he is, but I thought it was brilliant when Trump said what he said about Sadiq Khan.
Oh yes, yeah. Well,
Ah,
I
ah,
mean, we've got the
oh,
SP on that, and I'm going to mention it
oh,
shortly,
right.
actually. But that was on his way back. He thought, "Oh, but we'll leave this till I'm on my way back on the airplane." So, continuing for a second or two on the hate speech thing, there's been some horrible instances of this and some horrible figures. 12,000 people have been arrested for hate crimes in the last 12 months. And my next statement, of course, like everybody else, how many have been arrested for shoplifting, for pinching your phone on the street, for pinching your motor car? Well, there you've got it. 12, and it's christened in many cases non-crime hate speech.
But
What
I
is
mean,
that about?
if you are, say you look at cyberbullying, right? If you are doing cyberbullying, then the consequences of that are the same as if you bully someone in the street, if you bully someone in a school. It depends, I suppose, what the hate speech is. I mean, is it like complete harassment that's on, or is
No,
it
it's
just,
none of those things.
no, it's not. It's
And
not.
that's
It's
why they
just,
call it non-crime.
yeah,
The
it's one.
non-crime, what are you prosecuting people for?
I know one exactly one random thing. I mean that's and it was interesting on Five Live this morning as well when they were going on, talking about the immigrant situation. And there's a guy there that said, I parked. It was something that he parked with his tires a wheel just touching a yellow double line, right? He didn't quite get in the gap, yeah. And he's had to pay £160 of fine, which he said, fine. It was illegal. I didn't realize I'd done it, so I paid it. So, and yet why can't we equate this as the unfairness about equating that? You pay your fines, it's illegal, but we let these other illegals in. And it's just dreadful. But that the free speech thing is, it is awful. But I was also listening to a lady today on the radio as well, and she was sort of talking about racism in this country, right? And she is obviously Pakistani. She was born here. She said she's British born. Her father fought in the war, and the British Empire invited them to come and live in this country. But she said, I have been, in a way I never have been before in the last 2 years. I have, in the street, people come up and racially abuse me. She was at a child's football match on Saturday, and her son is autistic, and he got in a bit of a spit with another player. So she came off and took him home. But when she came away from the football pitch, she said this guy came up and physically assaulted her and racially, verbally abused her, calling her a pea dog, right? And she said, it's just got, I am worried. I legally live here. I was born here, and I am now having to say to people when they come up to me in the street, whatever, that I am allowed to live here. I am not illegal. I am born here. She said, why should I stand on the street and have to say what my grandfather fought in the war? The British Empire allowed us to stay here. And she said, it's definitely got worse. So I think there is that side of free speech, if you like, that isn't right, and and causing harm. And I mean, on innocent people. And she said, fearful about living here because she didn't ever expect to be actually physically attacked.
No, there's a real problem here, and it's a growing problem. And it's not surprised because it's been handled totally badly by
Well, yes, absolutely.
successive governments, but especially this one.
Yes.
It's incredible. Nothing more illustrated, and I don't know whether you've seen this, it is circulating now. A video from an American woman living in the United Kingdom, and she's actually joined the Free Speech Union, and that's provided her with some protection. And an officer came in because she was accused of tweeting. I think this one was actually in America. I may be wrong, but there's another point coming up about that. But this lady has been treated for cancer in the United Kingdom. She lives here sort of a semi-permanent basis, apparently. And she'd tweeted something that had upset the non-crime hate incidents set. And she said, what are you doing around here? And basically, like the rest of us think, well, have you not got anybody else to... I've never committed a crime in my life. I'm an old lady. And what you're doing around here, I'm being treated for cancer. I don't need the upset. Oh, well, he said, the policeman, and she got all this on film, brilliant. If you apologise, it will be all right because it's non-crime. Well, it comes out that actually she'd forgotten largely what she said, although she did mention that she recalled it, but not in detail. The police subsequently have admitted they lost the tweet, the footage. I don't believe that for 1 second, but they said that. Well, what do I apologise for? Oh, well, I don't know, but just apologise and then we will not bring you into the police station. That is unbelievable, and it goes on every day of the week.
Haven't they got something better to do?
No.
Believable.
Well, it depends, of course, on the police force.
Yes.
Chief Constable, whether he's woke and
Hmm.
so many of them are, how the police have been trained in police colleges.
Yes.
They come
Yeah.
out as woke as anything these days.
Yeah.
A lot of
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
So, where are we? There's no hope in that case, is there?
That's absolutely outrageous. I mean, that,
It's brilliant
it's
footage.
difficult to believe, isn't it? Quite honestly. Oh, just say sorry. Well, what am I saying sorry for?
It will be on this channel later today. The whole story.
Oh my goodness.
There you
Yeah.
go. Yes, that's all we can say.
How low can we get? Honestly, can it really get any worse?
Yes, it can, because you've mentioned him before, Sadiq Khan,
Oh,
or Sadiq Kant, which we keep saying.
yeah, it does.
And there is Trump again at the last ditch, halfway over the Atlantic, in answer to a question, of course, from GB News. Bev, I think he quite fancies Bev actually. The new program starts, doesn't it, from Washington on Monday? The overnight 3 hour.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, the late night show. Yeah, it does.
That's all
Yeah.
right. If you're a night owl, that's probably worth seeing. Having said that, she asked him, where was Sadiq at the famous reception, that beautiful reception? Uh, and he's not been invited. I didn't invite him, said Trump. Why would I invite him? He's the worst mayor in this world. Oh, why can't our politicians be so
Oh,
great?
it was priceless what you said. Absolutely priceless. But then, of course, you've got to look again at Sadiq Khan, another chum of Lord Starmer or Sir Starmer, and you're also like Lord Homer, another one, a little chum. Also, it's jobs for the boys. It's jobs for the boys. And the other idiot, what's his name? That's just gone. Oh God, I'm already.
Mandelson.
Yeah, I mean, he just fills it with his mates. And that shouldn't, unfortunately, I thought that thing with Mandelson was going to overshadow the arrival of the Trump, but it didn't. But it hasn't gone away, has it?
No,
See, when they had the 3 hour debate in the day before in the House of Commons, why wasn't he there? What? I mean, I suppose he said, "Oh, he's probably peeling the potatoes for the banquet," you know. But why wasn't he there? I mean, it's about him, and awfully difficult for the person that had to represent him. And he should be there answering the questions, not some other flunky.
no, don't
It
forget
hasn't gone
the
away. It can't go away
no,
because,
well, it won't, because the backstory of this is now
yeah,
almost 1/3 of the inhabitants of London are not British born. 2/3 are
that's right.
foreign born abroad.
That's right.
Sadiq has done this deliberately. He's quite a lefty Muslim.
Oh, he is.
And
But
don't forget, he is encouraged by the Quran to have a caliphate. And this is going on not only in London, but various other large cities in the United Kingdom.
well, I saw something the other day as well that it might have been on GB News actually, but and it might have been Charlie Peters or somebody that the child exploitation, the trafficking, and all this sort of county line stuff, and there is absolutely endemic in London.
It's massive in
It's
London, but it's
massive.
obvious that it would be massive in London. And he's deliberately
Yeah, yeah.
hidden it and obfuscated on it for years.
Yes, he has. He
Now he's
has.
being called out, the wretched man.
How he just is a slime ball. He really is. I mean, how do you get him out? When are the mayoral elections?
Oh, it's another 3 years, isn't it? I think he's not going to last that time.
Can you get rid of a mayor? Can you do that?
I
You have
suppose
to
you can
vote
get
him
rid
out.
of
I mean, is it?
anybody in gross circumstances.
I just think he's abysmal. But again, you see, he's a mate of Starmer's, isn't he?
Yes, big
He's a
time.
mate of Starmer's. I mean, I do wish that the backbenchers would start giving him more stick. I mean, some of them are now like flying across to reform, aren't they? And of course, they reform. Oh, Nigel got a good one from the Tory party, didn't he, the other day?
Yeah, and now the Labour councillor has gone over to Nigel.
Yes,
It's
yes, that's
significant,
right.
and lots more to come.
Yeah, but rather than do that, I have a kind of problem with that because that's jumping ship as opposed to putting the ship back on a secure course. So I just think if you are Labour, then sort Labour out. Stick around and sort it out. Don't jump ship. If you're not happy with it, sort out your leader. And I just think he gets him off the hook, doesn't it?
Well, there's a lot. They've not got a lot of power, some of these councillors,
All
in
right.
that direction.
Okay.
And so I suppose they, in frustration, say, right, that's it.
Yeah.
Oski. Now,
Yeah.
while we're on the subject, by the way, Trump was also direct in advising, and he was still not in his airplane when it got this one out. And again, it wasn't picked up as it should have been, but is being picked up now. There's no excuse. Get the army, and in this particular case, the navy in.
Yeah.
Get your shores patrolled. Stop them coming in. It can be done. We've done it on the Mexican border. And of course, the usual leftists are saying, oh, it's different between a border. No, there isn't. It's easier on a border than at sea.
Of
We've
course
got
it is.
frigates out there that should be frigating up and
Well,
down the
that's what this
channel.
guy said this morning. If you had the frigates, because he was phoning in from Portsmouth, and he said the frigates just are sort of idle, really. There's no reason why they couldn't be on a mission or something to literally put the 7 frigates right by that line, as a long line, and then have a little boat at the back to put them all in and send them back.
Or put them in a desert island off the west coast of Scotland, or put them somewhere else.
Well, that's what Australia do, don't they? They don't have them in the country. They put them on another island somewhere, don't they? They don't. I mean, and also, is it Denmark or someone? I can't remember which country is turning them away, irrespective of the ECHR.
Yes,
I mean, what could the ECHR actually
nothing.
do?
Finally, they couldn't. But
No,
of
it could.
course,
No,
don't
exactly.
forget, we're talking about an EU club here with
Yes,
Starmer.
because did you see the other day? It was about 3 days ago that Europe, the EU, has demanded that we open our borders to EU residents.
Yeah,
Demanded,
That's great.
demanded.
Yes. Well,
That I
that's
mean,
how the EU works, of course.
yeah,
It's
but that isn't that the reason why we
undemocratic.
left isn't that because why we had Brexit because we wanted to control our borders? I mean, it's just it drives me mad. It really drives me mad. I've never felt just so angry and disappointed. I
But
think,
you and many other people,
yeah,
don't forget. I mean, this is
well,
like we had the march.
well, absolutely. Oh my goodness, on the number of people that have gone on about the ridiculous figure of, oh, there were 110,000. No, there weren't. There were over 1 million.
Mm. I know it's undeniable now.
Yeah, but I mean, the thing is, people can see with their own eyes that was more than 110,000.
Emperor's New Clothes keeps coming up, but it's very apposite. Don't forget, in all this, Starmer has now decided definitely to condemn Israel and go for the Palestinians. Again, this is coming from Europe. Europe are doing this en bloc, and Starmer is saying, right, they've got to have their state recognized now.
Well, you see, this is
Problem is
interesting.
that the mainstream media in all this are also on board. Do they not realize various simple facts? It was Hamas that attacked Israel, and Hamas still have all the hostages. What a cheek! Nothing should be done, and Trump has actually said this until those hostages are released.
Yeah.
Quite rightly, and yet Starmer and co want to recognise a Hamas state. Don't think for one moment it's a Palestinian state.
No,
It's
and
a Hamas state, and
it
they're
is.
wicked.
It is. And I mean, Trump didn't hold back, did he? He actually has said, I do not agree with your prime minister about making it a Palestine state and making it a state. I don't agree with him. I mean, what I think what you get with Trump is it just comes out and says stuff. He does stuff. That's the point. He does stuff. I mean, this one in and one out stuff is just a joke, isn't it? I mean, it's an absolute joke. We've sent 2 back.
Yeah, and in the same period, 4,000 have come in,
400 on their way today in a boat.
and
400
another
of them.
400 on the way. But those are the figures.
Exactly. But I mean, Trump, I don't. I quite like the fact, you know, there'd be some people that would say, well, he's got no right to comment on what we do in our country. But I mean, he is the biggest leader of the free world, so why shouldn't he? You know, he's like the head teacher, really, isn't he? And why not when you've got such a bunch of numpties running this country? You know, I mean, and I think genuinely he does like the UK. He does genuinely like it.
Well, likes it because of mum. Well, for whatever reason he likes it, let's be congratulatory for a small second to Starmer, and we've got a trade deal which should have happened to whoever was in power, and
Yeah.
maybe even better if the Tories, dare one say it, they're just as bad, were in
But
power.
but again, London could have fared better out of that if it wasn't for Sadiq Khan. He
Yes,
he could have done he would have done deals to like raise up London. He would have done something, you know. But it's Sadiq Khan that stopped him doing it.
let's not quite leave the free speech yet. We've got a problem arising because of the FA, who are the wokest football association. Party that's governing the United Kingdom, including things like the NHS. They've gone so woke.
Yeah.
More of that shortly. And now the football terraces are involved. Now, I don't really approve of this chant, I've got to say. It involves Man United, my team, and I don't approve of much that comes off the football lot. But they have certain hymn songs that they sing,
Hmm.
hardly apposite hymns. They are chants goading the opposition, of course. And there's one now coming out, and Chelsea are visiting Old Trafford, no doubt to wreak havoc with the demise of Amorim. I absolutely confirm that Amorim is just like manager of Manchester United, Starmer. Neither of them will alter their modus operandi ever, and both of them are in the doo-doo. So, what's coming off the terraces? Well, the Rent Boys song. Yeah, yeah, my goodness me, you couldn't write. Now, Rent Boys, for the uninitiated, which I hope is most of our viewers, has got to do with males selling themselves, usually younger males, for sexual purposes. And it so happens that around the Chelsea's ground, there are so many LGBTQ, etc., and various establishments promoting rent boy situation. So they're goaded, of course, by the football supporters, and they have been told both by the FA and the police that they must not sing this song. Now, I don't mind that because it's not really very nice. But if it was me as the average supporter, I would say, well, come on then, arrest me and 60,000 other people that'll be singing this. And from a free speech point of view, I think that would be right. From a legal point of view and a tasteful point of view, there are question marks. But if it's got into the football match, it just shows how ridiculous this non-hate crime speech.
It's not really appropriate, is it? I mean, quite honestly, you can say, I mean, well, see, my husband, who's a Leeds man, as you know, would say Man United are scumbags, you know.
Well, no, well, exactly. Well, what's the difference, frankly?
But you know, you're chanting about football or chanting about a player or something. And it's not really appropriate, though, is it? Really? I mean, I haven't heard the song. I mean, is it quite obvious what they're singing
Oh,
about?
it's been going on for decades. And,
Oh,
it's what they're taking extracting the water is the polite way of putting it, because this is what happens in football. I don't particularly approve of it.
I don't like football. I don't like football for that reason. And I think I think it's fair to say that when you look at rugby, they play football like animals, but their supporters are quite nice people. Whereas
And
with
cricket is
football,
the
the
same, of
animals
course.
are in the terraces. That's the trouble. I don't like football. I really don't like it. It's not. It is because of the crowd and the terraces and all the money they earn. It's just completely obscene the amount of money they earn.
It is. This program, of course, as you hear and see, is not for those of delicate ears. So we'll move on to something else. Well, we'll move on to Madeleine McCann. Now, I've got to admit, after all these years, you get a bit, well, come on, more of this, but not just now. But I tell you what, the not just now has come up because from information received, I firmly believe the German police when they say this is the guy that's culpable, are right. They're dead sure.
Mm,
The guy called Christian Bruckner that's been in jail as a paedophile and a rapist
yeah.
or an old age pensioner
Hmm.
for 7 years. He was released yesterday, and he is still, according to the German police, the prime suspect. It's probably been done to order. Terrible things going.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
and she's been kidnapped, and who knows where she is. Oh,
If she
if
is.
she is at the moment.
Unlikely, unlikely, because once the purpose was fulfilled, then you're not going to risk the the child. I mean, I'm certain sure she's gone. But you see, I think that there was a very polite request through legal routes for the Met Police to go and interview him before he was released, and he refused. I don't think you should have that right to be able to refuse because he hadn't been released at that point. So if he wasn't going to speak to the English police, I don't think the Germans should have released him.
No, again, the vagaries of international law. You can make a law for everything if it suits you.
But I mean, it does seem very, very because somebody was it one of his cellmates? He actually didn't he confide to one?
Confess. Well, you hear these stories, it's not been confirmed. But I tell you what, the fact that he was only put away for 7 years,
Yeah.
the police would have put him away for a lot longer. They know who's culpable. I mean, there is this thing about the bracelet around the ankle. He's got a report back every month, and he's not being completely let off the hook. What? Yes, he is.
But once a paedophile, also a paedophile, it's not
Yeah,
going to be long before he trips up again, is it?
the same day.
I can't see that he's changed because they don't change
No,
unless he goes and disappears under the radar and does a
no
run.
intention of that. His first meal was round the corner at McDonald's. He's rejoicing in the freedom. And it's dreadful. But there you are. That's what it is.
I Yeah, I mean, you say you get a bit fed up with it. I was actually quite fed up with it quite early on because as well as I know, living in Portugal and Spain as well, they're not fond of babysitters or anything like that. I could never understand why you would have gone out and got drunk and merry with mates and left those kids in that room. I'm sorry, I've never. I I I'm sounding a real hard-nosed bitch, but when we had kids and they had the twins, don't forget the twins, my twins were climbing out of a cot at 1 year old. They could have, I don't know. I've never ever understood it. When we went away with the children when they were young, we would always make sure we would have an early dinner and then they'd go to bed and we'd get booze in for ourselves at night and that was it. I wouldn't use a babysitter service in a foreign hotel because I wouldn't trust that they have the same checks and balances that we have. It could be anyone. I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't. I just don't understand. Two intelligent people, and they were, and professional people could be as laissez-faire as that. And also, it wasn't necessary. You can leave children with grandparents, can't you? Well, you go and have a nice freebie holiday or whatever. The whole thing. I know hindsight is a very clever thing, but I just thought, well, I'm not being funny, but I've never really, and I've also, I used to feel so sorry for the time of other people whose children have been lost. And at the time, I remember a little boy called Ben Needham who went missing in Greece. He was a 3 year old little boy. I don't even remember it. And that was years ago. And the grandmother was looking after him, and they've never ever found him. And I think, well, that never had. There's no other child that's had that, adulation, if you like, about the wrongness of what happened. And if she'd, I've often thought this, if she'd been born the wrong side of the tracks down in, I don't know, Dagenham or something like that, nothing would have happened.
No.
I feel for the child. I'm very, very upset for the child because you
Yeah.
don't know what she went through.
No.
You do
No.
not know what she went through. But, my daughter's friends were at the same venue at that time and made it quite clear that they were not going back, that, not at that table. They're not friendly with those people, but observed, and said there's no way they were going back checking every 20 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, talking about 7 years, let's think about an Egyptian migrant,
Oh,
part of the Muslim Brotherhood.
oh,
7 years in absence, he was designated for jail, raping a woman, the usual thing. Yes, it has become. And 7 years for that. He actually was put in a four-star Hilton hotel in London as an illegal immigrant. That's not bad, is it? And then
no,
immediately went out and
no.
raped her.
I'd like to go there this weekend. Thank you very much.
Yes. I mean, this is where Great Britain is at the moment.
Did you see the one? No, which one was it? There was another one. Oh, human rights law. I don't think it was this guy, but there was another one that he couldn't go to prison because the cell was too small.
Yeah, that's right.
Is it him? Is it him?
No, I don't think
It
so.
was another one, wasn't it? It was another one. He couldn't go to prison because the cell was too small. For goodness sake, honestly, I mean, when did that ever come on the horizon?
Well, it wouldn't do unless you were an illegal immigrant. You'd be just put up with it. You're in jail. What do you expect? Right. Let's talk something a bit nearer home, very near home for you, and that's your husband Roger versus the NHS. Now,
Yes,
we have
interesting.
mentioned this briefly in the past, but it's something that is coming out now, and we're building up the evidence. NHS, I hope you're listening. We've got some beauties coming out shortly, but this will give us a time of thought about King woke, which has become NHS woke. In many ways, they're spending so much time and money on DEI and other waste of time activities, and they are feathering their own nest.
Yeah, I mean, it's true. It's dreadful. The letter I got back from Stephen Kinnock. So this was about the fact that why. So just to refresh people's memories, this is why the fact that October last year, urgent appointment for my husband, right? Urgent appointment. Well, the urgent appointment won't come into play until the end of November this year. So it's actually 14 months in total. So the Parkinson's has got worse. It's overriding the dementia. And I thought, well, I'll go back to our guy, who is the private guy, and he immediately put Roger on Parkinson drugs, which he said probably you wouldn't even get this particular one on the NHS. And it is
That's a
working.
nice problem, isn't it?
It's
It
dreadful
should
actually.
it should be
So
renamed nasty.
yeah, it's dreadful. And then he said as well that on his letterhead it actually states he's not just a private consultant, he is also part of the Milton Keynes NHS Hospital Trust. It's there at the top of his letters, right? So I Roger can't have a Parkinson's nurse unless I go through the NHS. Well, he is an NHS neurologist as well as a private one. And he said, I don't understand it. And he said, but a lot of the people, a lot of the neurologists, well, if it's dementia with Parkinson's, they won't actually medicate the Parkinson's. If you have Parkinson's in its own right, you can be medicated for it. But if it's dementia with Parkinson's, they said tend to look at the dementia first. So I wrote a letter asking, why can't the private consultant who also works with the NHS, why can't I go through him and get this Parkinson's nurse? Why do I have to have someone who is another NHS consultant when this guy actually works for the NHS? So I actually wrote to my MP and I got this. Oh my word, wasn't it a load of bull? A page,
Absolutely.
a page and a half and you know,
Absolute.
absolute Ollocks. And that, he didn't answer the question. He
No,
didn't.
it's a
I mean,
standard letter.
it was a standard blur, blur, blur letter. What we're doing, how many benefits we're getting, what we're doing. And I actually said to people, he mentions the dementia pathway, which the dementia organization we belong to actually laughed out loud and said it's absolutely useless. And oh yes, and how it's very important that people like your husband are seen immediately, but he hasn't been. So how is he putting this right? So I wrote back to the MP and said he has not answered the question. They never do, and it was just so much bull in in that letter. I just, honest to goodness, I just can't, you know, and not what I mean. I swear they go to a university and take a degree in avoidance. They just don't ever answer the question. And he sent this to me, and you know, through my MP, and I said, you know what? I I don't have the energy to go back and say again, you haven't answered the question.
Yeah, but that's the strategy, as we well
Oh,
know.
absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, it's amazing that I have the time to actually write these letters anyway. But, you know, they have to be written, I think. Yeah, I think you have to find the time to write them for the benefit of other people.
Yeah, I'm in the middle of this, so I feel for you absolutely, and many, many other people are. Listen, time has fled, as it always does. We've got to mention two items before we go, and we'll lighten up a little bit. The first, of course, is Mrs. Macron, who is
Oh,
absolutely fed
God.
up. Now, don't forget, Mrs. Macron was the teacher.
Yeah.
Bit of an age gap there, but she must have been some teacher. Married one of her pupils, and no doubt he needs keeping, even though he's a small chappy, isn't he? This is all part of the Napoleonic syndrome. We won't discuss that. Discuss that. And we've got her. She said, "Right, I'm going to court against all you rotters." We've got our wonderful Candace Owens. Good interview, nice looking girl. And we've put some of her stuff out in the past. It's been top, top, top. But wow, she's gone off the rails a tad. I don't know why, but Candace has said, Mrs. Macron, you're a fella and take me to court. And well, she's not done yet, but she's about to, Mrs. Macron, that is, say, I'm taking you to court. I've had enough. It's
I
affecting
don't blame her.
absolutely
It's
our relationship.
awful.
And you know, my husband's got enough to worry about without me.
Absolutely. I think it's awful. I mean, it's dreadful being accused that she's a man. And, you know, where's all that come from? You know, and I mean, it's just, I couldn't believe it when I read it. I thought, I just don't. I felt actually sorry for Macron's wife. I mean, and there may be some idiots out there that are going to jump on board that ship and think, oh, yeah, yeah, I think she probably is actually. You know what I mean? There'll be some stupid people that will support Candice. I mean, I just feel so sorry for Mrs. Macron. I really do. I mean, it's so insulting.
Yeah,
So
a lot of the stuff
insulting.
we've been talking about actually is we can easily blame social media or
Yeah,
mainstream media because they're just as culpable.
yeah, yeah, they are.
And
Yeah.
we're at risk of wasting our blooming lives sometimes getting into this. But I'll tell you what, beware. And we have said this on a number of occasions. All the stuff that is on X or TikTok or whatever, Facebook even at times, you've got to check out. I mean,
Well, that's it, and it's this AI as well. I've got to go into a school next week and to talk to like year 5 and 6, so they're 10 and 11-year-olds about you know AI and this the thing that we were talking about last week that some of these children are literally thinking that chatbot is a human being because the chatbot has a human name, doesn't it? And golly, I mean, year 5 and 6, 10 and 11-year-olds that think chatbot's a friend. What is going on?
yeah, and
The way it's twisting kids' minds is just one more thing to think about that is absolutely awful. And the absolute need with AI to check the source, 100%. Where is this sourced from? and then you find out, and then you absolutely check the source. You
Well,
know,
there's a tweet going around with illustration and a bit of video, in fact, saying, coming from allegedly, purportedly, North Korea, and it says, Brits are welcome. I'm vernacularizing this, to come to North Korea because you're living under a repressive regime in the United Kingdom. Well, yeah, you're right, North Korea. But when you get and dig around the problem, you find out actually North Korea have changed a bit and they're actually letting people into the country, but they're only tourists and they've got to come on a bus and be managed and only
but are they letting them out? That's the point.
well, yeah, and only see that's the point, and only see special designated sites. But you see, that's the truth. But how the truth can be twisted and put
Yeah.
in the video, and people are actually believing the whole tenor of this advertisement. Uh,
Well, it's like people, if it's in the Daily Mail, it must be true,
well, exactly. Oh my goodness me.
It's replaced the Daily Mail.
Listen, listen, we've got to move on finally. You'll like this one, the Yachting Association in Great Britain.
Oh
Here we
God.
go.
Do
Go
you know, honestly, you do wonder what sort of world we're living in, don't you? When you go, I know what you're going to say. Go on, say it.
Well, it's man overboard.
I
You
know.
can't say man overboard anymore. Now, what you can say, presumably, is LGBTQ plus person XYZ. By the time you said that,
It's
they
insulting to
drowned
say,
or,
I know,
or
I'm not being
whatever.
funny. If I fell overboard, I couldn't give a monkey's whether they said man
Oh,
overboard, But you could say human overboard, human overboard. What are you supposed to say then? Person overboard? If you're in the sea and you're nearly drowning, I don't think you care what
well,
people
you
said.
can say they, can't you, or whatever you were.
Oh,
It's
you've got to have a pronoun badge. He, she, overboard. He, him, overboard.
coming number 5 your times, and it literally is.
I can't, honestly, the Royal Yachting Association. I just thought if it's getting into something like that,
It's
woke has gone bonkers.
institutions you've got to watch. It's the institutions and then
Oh,
other institutions.
and the NHS. Have you seen the one about? Is it radiologists or something? Radiologists have got to ask radiographers. Yes, have got to ask men if they're pregnant.
Yes, that's true. That is perfectly true. I'm thinking going back to the nautical theme of when you shout or go onto the radio phone and say Mayday, help. That's from the French, by the way. It's nothing to do with May or day, Mayday. And we don't like the French, so we should stop using May Day. Let's say Christmas Day, 25th of December instead, by which time again the boats hit the rock.
Interesting though, isn't it? How did May Day become a core? That is quite interesting though. I
Well,
quite
well,
like.
that's the reason. I mean, Medea helped me in French.
Ah, right. So, I mean,
Uh,
I do like learning sometimes where these sayings have come from that we just like
yeah,
trot out and say things. Well, where did that come from? Like one of them is like straight laced. You're very straight laced. It goes back to like the 1910s when women wore those very tight corsets and they were all strung up at the back and straight laced because you could hardly breathe.
there you
And
go.
that's the expression has come from that. That's where it's come from.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I do like knowing where because I think English is such a great language,
Hmm,
and I do like some of these things. Well, why do we say that? You
hmm.
know, why do we say that? And why? Because my thing is always why do you say? And then when you find out, you think, oh yeah, that makes sense actually.
Now, think back even 3 decades, perhaps. Everybody was encouraged to speak Esperanto. This
Oh
was a new
yes,
language. Can you remember that?
yes, I do remember it.
Well, I felt then we've got enough languages on this earth. Why create another one? And of course, English is taken over everywhere now.
Yeah.
It makes us very lazy as English people when we
Well, yeah, I don't fly with that at all. I think it's awful. You go to someone else's country, and I mean, I learned. I mean, don't know how I did it, but I learned fluent Portuguese and learned to write in Portuguese very quickly. But I mean, I think because I'm a musician, I hear language as a tonal quality and dynamic. so I can learn. I listen to the flexing of the
It's the easy way of learning it, and
yeah,
very few
yeah,
people are blessed. One of our sons is blessed with the gift of hearing it and learning the language.
yeah. That's how I do it.
Anything from Welsh, would you believe, to French Canadian, to Spanish, to Catalan, and without the trace of an
Mm.
English accent,
Yeah,
which
no, I can do it. I can do it as
yeah,
well. And
and it's a
I
gift.
did I passed when I was over there, because all these, expats that don't even want to learn to say please, thank you, hello, good morning, even though they've lived there 15 years, and I thought, no, you live with them, I will speak the language. But
Yeah,
in the end, I ended up teaching English as a foreign language to Portuguese adults in that part of Portugal on the Silver Coast, up from Lisbon, but lower from Porto, in the fishing villages that were opening up coffee shops and things like that. And I had to pass my interview in Portuguese. And I taught, I really loved doing it. These adults that couldn't speak English. And I said, well, don't, they're not
well,
going to learn your
I'm the
language.
absolute opposite. I can technically speak, would you believe, 23 languages. Only in a restaurant, because we have
Oh, right, yeah,
restaurants in
yeah,
Europe.
yeah.
You get 20, literally the menu is in 23 languages. And if you don't at least take an order, as it were, and know what you're doing, then you're lost. But no, I am bilingual Spanish, Portuguese. My congratulations to you. I find it's worse than Russian.
It is
It's a
awful.
terrible
It's
language.
an ugly language, and I'm sorry, Portuguese, but it is an ugly language. And when I was learning it, we found that the Eastern Europeans picked it up very quickly because it's very sort of,
There is a reason for that. Yeah. And
they speak in the same sort of, we use the, which I think I learned it. It's very interesting because my twins, who are now coming up 40, when they were 4 years old, they had to have speech therapy, right? Because they had their own language. They would talk to each other. It used to drive me mad. They both knew what they were talking about. It was gibberish, but I thought, you can't go to school learning anyway. And it's very interesting how when you watch the speech therapist, how often we as Brits, we have to use our tongue a lot against our teeth.
mm, mm,
And when we have, which the Portuguese don't have, do they? They don't have double vowels, like see, or sleep or sheep. And you have to smile. And I can remember them learning this, and it was really useful later on in life when I was teaching the Portuguese how to say certain things, because they don't have the language where you put. So we go yeah.
yeah.
That's why they go
That trips a lot of nationalities up.
yeah, and that's why they go zakar, because
Well,
they don't have,
languages are a burden to me. I'm all right with maths, but
yeah.
you cope, and if you're living
It's,
quite rightly,
it's very interesting though when you're talking to housekeepers in a hotel, you're teaching them English when they go when you change the sheets, they come down with I changed the sheets.
yeah. Oh no, we've been in situations like that. That's for another day. We've got to go. And oh, she forgot to tell you she's very good at bad language as well. So
Oh, I'm a superb.
we'll go. We'll see you next week.
It's never come out of my mouth so much since Starmer came on the, on the scene. Have a good weekend, everyone.